Welcome to Winter Oregon and the Pacific Ocean. As Captain Lewis wrote in his journal November 7th, 1805, I don't like to call it Pacific, for it's far from being peaceful. The high winds, rain, and thundering waves crashing on the shore drove the men half crazy. It was a dreary, gray winter and rained almost every day, all winter long. They hunted in the rain, traded for fish and roots from the Indians in the rain, collected salt from the ocean in the rain. They made a winter fort called Fort Clatsop because it was named after the friendly Clatsop Indians. They got to see their first full-size whale, too, that winter. It'd been beached, and they even got to eat whale blubber. Sounds delicious, huh? In the spring, they began their trip back home. It was an exciting journey. Part of their trip home, Captain Lewis and Clark split into two groups to make side explorations and learn more of the lay of the land. On one of these, Captain Lewis had a run-in with some hostile Blackfeet Indians and had to kill two of them as they snuck into his camp to kill and steal. There was terrible hardships, grizzly bear fights, boat accidents, and Private Peter Coots, because of a bad eye, accidentally shot and wounded Captain Lewis in the rear end. It's almost funny, but poor Captain Lewis was sore for an awful long time. But despite all the problems they encountered, they made it back home, September 1806, worn, battered, experienced, and excited. As they floated down the Missouri towards St. Louis, just north of town, 72-year-old Daniel Boone came out of his cabin to wave at the men as they passed by, playing their fiddle, celebrating being back home. Boone's eyesight was almost failing, but the men made great strides to show their gratitude to the man who many years before had led the first white men exploration party over the Appalachian Mountains. He was a legend even in his own day, but now it was Lewis and Clark's turn to make the history books. As they neared town, the news spread from tavern to shop to cabin. They were cheered as the tough rivermen sailed into town. People now could follow where they'd been. They could see the new, exciting wilderness for themselves because of the vision of Thomas Jefferson and the courageous determination of the men of the Lewis and Clark expedition. Their names would become household terms, and many would go on to do great things. Captain Clark lived a long and rewarding life. He lived as an Indian agent among the Indians for many, many years. He traveled to Europe with Sacagawea and Charbonnet's child, Jean the Baptiste. As John grew older, he was educated, and when in his 20s, he returned to the mountains where he was born and became a mountain man of high standing among the mountain men. His mom and dad went back to live among the Indians of the Middle Missouris. Captain Clark is set his slave free, and York, being set free, was so happy he returned among the Indians who loved and respected him even more than the white. There he could play with the children who loved his strength. John Colter would become a famous mountain man, as we'll see in the next volume, Volume 6 of these historical devotions. George Shannon went on to be a senator of Kentucky. Others lived to see the railroad and the tragic death of Captain Lewis, which is still a mystery today. Some believe he was murdered. Some said he committed suicide. To this day, no one is able to do what these explorers did, be the first from the east to cross the mountains that have no highways, floated rivers that had no dams, saw a sea of buffalo, and talked to many of the Indian tribes before they became extinct. They were the first with a great vision and saw their dreams fulfilled. Proverbs 29:18 tells us that where there is no vision, the people perish. You may feel cheated not having had the chance to go somewhere that no one's ever been before. Why, even the moon's been explored. There is one place you can still set your eyes on that no living creature has ever been to, and that's heaven. That's, of course, living creatures here on earth. There's many, many living there now. Keep that vision before your eyes, always heading that direction. But what about your vision while living on earth? America is still a great nation, greater than any. Here you can still have a vision to be great, going to college, studying medicine, computer technology, space science, and ministry for God's call on your life. Be something great for God. Let Jesus be the Lord of your life. Then that greatness will be for His glory and honor. You'll be happy too, knowing that your service to Him has been good and rewarding. Many young people have no vision, and they have no one to blame but themselves. You can't blame your parents, school, or friends. With Christ in us, we have great potentiality. Thank you for coming with me on the Lewis and Clark expedition. I trust that it will be an adventure, and we can go on other adventures in the future. I'll sign off for now. Little Bear will see you here, there, or in the air.